I've started the stream. I like fucking with my coworkers and starting early. Oh, yes, it fucks with them. But that's what's funny, to mess with my friends. Come on. Oh, I wanna mess with my friends and make them feel terrible when they jump on. Oh, and it makes them say, Dan, what's wrong with you? Bump, 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 bump. Oh, yes, I've messed with my co-hosts. I like to screw with them. I'd better tweet. Oh, I just built Affinity. Because I'm a degenerate and I like casting artifacts. Come on. Oh, my singing voice isn't there tonight. That's sad. So I'm sitting at a weird angle. That's part of it. My diaphragm is just absolutely being worked raw. Oh, I've made up my mind to have sex with your dad behind your mom's back. Oh, and she won't like that. But I'm having sex with your dad. Come on. Oh, my dad could fuck your dad. Yeah. We're getting rowdy. Bang him in the booty. It'd be rude, but that's what you get when you score more than me on the chemistry test. Come on. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. All right, ladies, get yourself a philosopher. Our tongues are always wagging, you know what I'm saying? Woo! And I just gotta do the show ad. Okay, also... Oh, I've made up my mind. Welcome to Friday Night Philosophy. This ain't your daddy's philosophy. It's so not your dad's philosophy, we're gonna have sex with him. Against your mom's will. I think that's my new one tonight. So everything's against your mom's will. I gotta get woo! I gotta get myself a new setup. Gotta pay off some bills, and I think I'm gonna get a new rig. Just for this. That's something I'm gonna do, see? It's gonna be legit dual screen. Gonna up that RAM. I think it's just me and Jank tonight, too. What I'm reading in chat is disconcerting. Or maybe it'll be awesome. I don't know. This might be right up Jank's wheelhouse. This might be a rockin' fun time. Just accusing people of being virulent sinners. But I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand by my my statements tonight. Stand by your man. And in this case, my man is calling out sinners. Oh, no way. All right, good run, good run. Cut off the North, unify the Midlands. Well, don't mind if I do, Green. I'm playing Dice Wars. You ever play Dice Wars? Dice Wars is good shit. That's exactly what I expected. That guy is an alert for me and he rules. Oh my god, we got a viewer. Why? What are you doing here? We're just in the pre-show. This is where we hang out. This is where we say offensive stuff. I wish it was still cool to be like, I'm going to say something offensive right now. Trans people are people. And it's like, you're not as edgy as you think by saying that. Like, yeah, bigotry's even taken a weird form because it's not like, no, we recognize their humanity. We still just hate them. Like, they're being very honest about it. And like, in some ways, that's incredibly hard to deal with because like, like the old messaging doesn't work. The old stratagems don't work. It's like, yeah, they're people. I just don't like them. Something the surrounding anti-hate rhetoric hasn't caught up with yet, and it's kind of harder to deal with. Well, I'm invested in this position right now. All right, so if you're watching live, throw something in the chat. I will respond. Otherwise, I'm playing Dice Wars till Jenk shows up and the conversation starts. And I'm just going to muse errantly. But I'm honest to God, I'm really looking forward to this topic. So if you hopefully saw by the name, tonight we're doing sin. And specifically, we're going to translate the concept of sin, especially the 7 deadly, into politics. I don't even care if that's something you've seen before. I don't really care. Because God help me, it's fun. Just going to double check my sound levels real quick. There we go. Kicking it off now. Shit, I'm losing this round of Dice Wars. I gotta tell you, I'm getting my ass slaughtered. If I thought it would be viable for me to put that up on screen, I totally would. It's probably not viable. Haha, alright. Now we're talking. Cooking with ass now. Cooking with Asaline. I love that someone made a courtroom sketch of that picture already. I know, right? It fucking rocks. Those pictures are, I gotta be honest with you, they're driving me insane. Like, all the Ghislaine Maxwell titty foot job pictures are just driving me nuts. Because, like, on the one hand, like, it's not an inconceivable thing. It's a thing you can fathom. It's a thing you can understand. That's something people do. But, like, it's done wrong. Like, nothing about it looks right. So I can't... Oh, yeah, of course he did. It was his foot. Against those clowns. Jesus. Yeah, he fathomed it just fine. But my point is, like, that's something that ostensibly, if you looked at it, like what, normal people would do something like that. Yeah, they do something like it. It's like trying to describe that particular activity to an alien who has no frame of reference to what feet or boobs are. And they're like grinning along like what we're doing is what normal people do. We're just a happy couple of pedos. it's just to some degree like it breaks my brain because it's like really hard to fathom. They're having a fun time. You can tell in that picture they're having a genuinely, unironically fun time. Cave painting quality, fuck yeah. And it just makes me bleed. It would be kind of fun, right? So she's a mammal, and she has giant milk makers. And we have this appendage at the bottom of our legs that lets us be mobile. It's kind of like a flipper, but not quite. And she's just rubbing it away against those milk bags on her chest. She's having a good old time. It's meant to emulate something that mammals do. And the guy is really unimpressed with it because she's not a young mammal. But she's having a fun time because she's pretending everything's normal and healthy.
Yo.
Hey, what's up?
Just the usual. Being gay, doing crimes.
Sin is either... Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing about tonight's topic, chat. It's going to be entirely... You're going to be like, oh my God, shut up. Or you're going to be like, oh, fuck, this is really cool. There's no in-between. There's not going to be like, it was okay.
I plan on being both.
You would. Of course you would. Of course. You're like, well, what's that? What's Dan's plan to either have an entertaining show or the worst show ever? Well, I'll make it mediocre. That way it's neither. Haha, my plan is complete.
Garbage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I think it's just us tonight.
And now.
Yeah, I have heard nothing. I know True's out of commission because of familial concerns.
Well, he's in the middle of infiltrating BISIS. You didn't really want to involve your family, but you're there, so.
He doesn't need to infiltrate BISIS. The man lives the BISIS ideology. Oh, chat, that's ISIS for bisexual sisters. Touch upon the body politic and sin's function. Yeah, kind of. Like, I want to next couple of minutes here. I want to take a look at the good old sins. 7 deadlies, the good old Catholics. And I want to just really start ripping into the list. And comparing it to the politics we have. Now, I have to limit it to some extent, of course. I'm only familiar with American politics, ultimately, in any meaningful sense. But within American politics, within that framework, it is a rich tradition of awful.
So, yeah, I'm okay with just you and I.
Yeah.
Pretty normal thing, right?
Yeah. We get along okay.
Could even make a show about that.
We could. Like a Perfect Strangers type thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh no, Dan, did you go down to the school board and scream heretic at everybody again? What? Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm also playing Dice Wars in the background. It doesn't matter. The brain rot is contagious. Yeah, it's infectious. Oh, what are some other 80s sitcoms tropes we could definitely throw into this? Dan, did you really go down to the Sunday school and scream "God's dead"? And we have killed him. You and I. Did you really? What did you think was going to happen, Dan? Did you think people were going to take that one and just be like, nifty, I'm so glad. All my fears have been assuaged. Because you were wrong, Dan. You were wrong. You made the children cry.
Is this a new thing for you, Dan?
Yeah. What, making children cry? Yeah, I think so. I don't really, like, this'll shock you, but I really don't go out of my way to make children cry.
Shocking.
Yeah. Like, rich kids, yeah, I go out of my way to make them cry, but not like general cry. Dice Wars. Playing some Dice Wars in the background while I was killing some time, and now I'm locked.
Dice Wars?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, it's like Risk, but with just dice.
Ah.
Yeah, you can play it in the browser.
I don't know how I feel about that.
The maps are purely randomized, and they rule. I'm feeling great about it, to be honest. Except when yellow just wins every fucking roll.
The RNG king over there.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I have 8 stacks of 6-sided die, and I'm rolling a 10. Like, that really, like, I understand that isn't the realm of possibility, but, like, that really shouldn't be a possibility. Like, they're rolling, like, a perfect 42 to my 10, and it's like, what the hell is this?
I mean, yeah. Statistically, it's going to happen.
But, like, 4 rolls in a row, again, yes, of course it can happen, but the math on that, my God. I'm just barreling in, baby. I'm loving it. Dice Wars to wash the blood off your hands. Yeah, I have to wash off the blood of my die now for all the murders I've committed in this game. So many good die died. So many die children are not going to see their die parents ever again. There, right there. I won the roll, but it was double 19. Now you tell me, 8 stacks, double 19? Bullshit. 23 to 19. 21. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm winning, but, like, it's a slow, arduous march towards victory.
And really, it's not fair. You shouldn't be winning.
I should be winning.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I had the wrong opinion.
Yeah. I control most of the map. I should be winning, just by, like, hands down default.
Oh, so it's one of those where you're going to eventually win regardless.
Yeah, but it's just going to take forever every time they win a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, like, my forces are cut off, but... which means I have to fight my way back to unification. Ugh.
I wonder if I could... You're not streaming into the Discord, are you?
Absolutely.
Watch that.
You want me to? Yeah, hold on. Watch. You can give the play-by-play. All right, so you see it there?
Yeah, there we go.
Can you see it now?
Watch stream. It's loading. Hang on.
Okay. It's heating up. I'm not lying. I'm doing really well this game. It's just a matter of, like, I'm in the arduous march mode where I'm going to have this eternal power struggle back and forth until finally I break them.
I can't see crap.
What's it saying? The stream should not be paused.
Stream paused.
It should not say paused. So that's the problem. Discord only streams certain things.
Well, that's because we keep saying, Hitler's on air.
Yeah, it is.
I assume.
Oh, are you kidding me? They rolled a 32 off of 7 dice, and I rolled a 28 off of 8. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Oh, hey, look. I can see a screen.
Can you? Good. All right, now you assholes are trapped in my territory. Eventually, you're just going to run out of refills, and I'm going to be able to take that back really easy. And then I got to do it again. If I can get rid of blue here, though. Yeah, blue's done. All right, that's not a thing anymore that you can just be. But now I got to go on a damn reunification march again.
Dan, you reunification march.
Yeah. Seriously, though, damn that. Because then I got to rebuild my society and my armies, most importantly. Meanwhile, Yellow's going to act like they've done something all game other than just be lucky. Pink. Oh, man. Did you just see Pink fuck up Yellow?
Nope, can't see crap again.
Can't see crap again.
Your
Great.
stream's cutting out.
Shouldn't
I think
it?
it's because we don't pay for Nitro. Why would we?
I do pay for Nitro. I damn well pay for Nitro.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. See, look what Pink did to Yellow. Yellow was down here. Pink was up there. Take a peek at that. It's when I switch windows. And then I'm bouncing into OBS. Review the chat. And Giovanni's here. What's up? That's a good-ass fan. Giovanni's a good-ass dude.
Top 10 villains of all time.
No.
Top 10 anime betrayals? Question mark, question mark?
What?
Giovanni?
The person in our chat. See, now look, Pink's overtaking me. This is a bunch of bullshit. All because Yellow has to have that damn eyesore there. Yeah, Yellow, you fight Pink for a while. Screw them up. All right, Pink. This is how you want to do it. That's fine, but I gotta warn you. Being on top sucks. You deal with Yellow. Yeah, you deal with the nuisance that is Yellow. Just coming into your house, setting your shit on fire, pooping everywhere, and then just being like, this is mine now. Lose on a 3.
Rolling into 10 o'clock. It's just you and I. What's our topic? You said sins?
Sins.
As in, like, the 7 deadly?
Yes. The coolest of the sins.
Which one is the coolest sin?
Which one is the coolest? Well, many scholars have debated this over the years. Thomas Aquinas proposed it was definitely wrath because that meant you were kicking straight ass. The Romans were a big fan of hedonism, so they were really big fans of gluttony and lust.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's our modern worship of the 7 sins?
What do you mean worship?
Yeah, like we got gluttony and lust for the Romans. There's definitely some wrath in old Genghis Khan there, right?
Well, okay, first off, in all of the sins, they are all present in pretty much all societies at all times.
They all need to be, obviously.
Yeah, that's how society functions, is off the basis of those dirty acts, those sins. Oh no, Pink's starting to form a hegemony. I might be dead. Yellow might have killed me. Oh, if I can win those rolls. All right, time to start carving them up. But yeah, so every place in all times has all of these sins present. Like they have to, because that's how society functions. Oh my god, I lost the Pink. All right, because I can't. I'm to the point now where the game won't let me win a roll, and they're slowly building up not only a massive surplus, but a massive land force everywhere they are. So once you can't win a roll in this game, like once the computer has just decided to, I hate the expression, but cheat. Like that's it. You're over. You're done. We're done here.
This is way better to watch with your screen bugging out for me, because I just watched a game of 4 roughly equally set people turn into a pink blob.
Yes.
A little bit of blue and yellow.
Yeah, they did it. Pink did it. Like Pink's won. I might be able to overturn this on the back of my surplus, but then like I'm losing rolls that I should be winning. Like 6v8, I should be able to win a 6v8, and I'm losing. And once you're to the point where you're losing those, like you can't win the game. Because the computer is just like, this has to end, and it's going to end at your to your loss.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So like I can try all I want, but right now, like this is just I'm just going to die. It's going to be like 20 minutes till I die.
Well, this has such intense graphics that it's really causing apparently your computer some problems for streaming here.
Yeah. No, it's just the way Discord is. Like, if it's not a dedicated program, like a super popular game, then Discord's just like, no, okay, you can't stream that.
Yeah, we're not interested in it then.
Yeah. Literally, if we can't make a shit ton of money off of it in advertising, we don't want it.
I knew it.
Yeah. Yep, here we are. I can't win roles I should be winning. I'm losing on both fronts. So now I'm like, now my bread and butter territories are just being raped. I'm done. Game's over. They won. No rhyme, mind you, no rhyme or reason for the victory. Other than like, there's a calculation in the game, and sometimes like if you're on the bulkier side, like you just default lose. Yeah, 34. No, that's okay. So we're done here. We're done. We're done with that. Stop streaming. The whole thing's over. Oh yeah, Pride and Sloth are here. Don't worry. We don't want to ruin the main show. Get your list up, kids. That's Wikipedia. 7 deadly sins. I'm gonna define shit weird too. So here's how I've started billing myself, like mentally. Like, how do I reconcile my anti-religious beliefs and my religious beliefs all at once? So I'm more religious than your common atheist. I don't actually believe in throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And not just like, well, they're good stories. Now, most of the stories suck, but there's if you start cherry picking around in religions, you can find some really interesting ethical pieces. You can find some really interesting thought experiments by complete accident.
Dan's on and back.
Awesome. I taught him Dice Wars.
Yeah, you did. Oh,
Dice Wars it up, bro.
Michael Jordan Peterson here to talk about sin with us.
Yeah, I just came to shit talk.
That's all right. We're gonna have plenty of
Shit
people
talk and take
shit talk
names.
What's your
And two
favorite
bubble
sin?
gums. My favorite sin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. They're so good. There's so many. What is my favorite sin?
Go with the 7 deadly sins.
My favorite is. Oh shit! I love them all.
Yeah, they're so good. I don't know. Maybe not
Are we going
adultery.
10 Commandments or 7 Deadly?
Are we going 10 Commandments or 7 Deadly?
7 deadly. Fuck the 10 Commandments. That's worthless.
Yeah, definitely.
Any list that starts with 3 different things of you have to pay attention to me at all times is worthless.
Okay. Let me go with sloth. I'm gonna run with sloth.
Sloth.
Ooh,
rocks.
that's not bad.
Yeah,
Plus one for
I think that's an underdog in a
good.
lot of ways.
Yes.
it is. They underestimate it, but you just sit there.
So
Yeah.
fun to do nothing.
What's yours, Jank? What's your favorite sin? What are you?
Gluttony.
Gluttony.
Gluttony? Oh yeah,
I
consume.
do everything to excess.
I mean, he is a
Consumption,
capitalist, so.
I personally enjoy
Capitalist
me.
pig.
I enjoy me some lust.
I knew it. Ooh.
Yeah, lust and
Lust
pride
is
are
good.
too.
Yeah.
Gay
I'm
with your dad
her.
and all.
Whoever that
Yeah,
is,
super
I'm
gay
with
with your
you.
dad.
Oh yeah, your dad, your mom. I'll be gay with both of them. I don't give a shit. Do I get a transition to do it? Fuck yeah, let's do
I
it.
don't know. See, sloth has a good argument for it, and that's me being in my underwear in the house, not going anywhere. That's compelling to me.
Yeah. Look, nobody said sloth was bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sloth rocks.
All sloth, all day, all the time. You ever see a sloth?
I gotta
They
be
gotta try
honest. Gotta be honest. Wrath, worst sin. There you
Oh,
go.
wrath is okay. Yeah, I agree.
Ooh, my butthole burns. I've got a hemorrhoid of rage. Burn.
Yeah.
It's definitely
It's the edge
sloth
lord of
is the
sins.
underrated. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
edge lord of sins. That's good.
That's wrath. Yeah, wrath is the edgelord of sin. I'm willing to agree to that one. I'll elaborate later, but you pegged it without even knowing the content. You pegged it, buddy.
Ooh, you should probably put that away. You don't want to be pegging that.
No,
They'll get angry about it.
Not even a little bit.
Lust,
They'll get
baby.
angry about it.
Get in there. Get up in there.
Not even just the tip.
Just
All
the
the
tip,
way.
baby.
No way.
So sloth,
Sure,
yeah,
honey,
sloth.
go grab an ice pack. Sorry, my kid.
What are the 7? There's 7 of them. What are the other
Okay,
ones?
so there's gluttony, lust, pride. Oh, God, forget the rest.
Yeah, see, we lost them.
Pride,
I mean,
gluttony, wrath, lust,
I should have had a checklist.
sloth. There's 2 more. It is envy and greed.
Oh,
Yeah.
envy and greed.
Envy
I
and
Yeah,
got
greed
8 now.
suck.
yeah, envy. No one likes envy and greed.
No.
Envy and greed suck. They make you an asshole.
Yeah, yeah,
Wrath.
that's big lib talk.
Yeah, wrath is in that family of I'm just a dick to people.
Yeah,
Sloth,
yeah.
gluttony, lust. Those rock.
I feel like wrath is like roid rage. They're just hemorrhoiding it up.
Mm.
It's like super
Oh, I
painful,
thought
and
it
they're
was
just
an
fighting it.
asteroid.
Asteroid?
Yeah.
No, it's hemorrhoids.
Oh, shit. My whole life perception has changed.
Hemorrhoid
we-
rage.
Here's the only question I want to know: do we start with the underdog or not?
Yeah, what you gotta go in with the underdog, so then you underdog the underdog.
All right.
You overdog the underdog sometimes, but no, you gotta underdog the underdog.
I don't know what it means, but I'm here for it.
We have over the past year slowly been building like an ethics code,
Envy.
and I think this is a nice way to cap it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. The 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, why not? We're building our ethics. Let's build it off of the good old school. Let's go fucking Middle Ages Italian on its ass. Let's do it. When Italy was great because it wasn't a thing.
So I've recently heard they think that Rome isn't a thing.
Yeah, I
Who
saw that
thinks
on
Rome-
TikTok. It's great.
Who thinks
What
Rome
the fuck?
wasn't a thing?
Some TikTok woman.
Some
Oh.
idiot.
I don't know. There's like a 300-year period between like 700 and like 1000 AD that didn't exist.
Yeah.
That's called being ahistorical.
Yeah, Rome was there. Rome was there until
But
like
no,
Constantinople
but-
fell.
Like
Yeah, no, they
Charlemagne
just think that
never
ancient
existed.
Rome wasn't a thing.
They don't acknowledge any Rome. They don't acknowledge the Holy Roman Empire. They don't acknowledge early Christendom. They don't not acknowledge the Roman Empire. They don't acknowledge any of Rome.
Bye bye, Rome.
1493.
They don't even give us Sublime with Rome.
Shit.
But they do give the Greeks. Greek stuff's okay, from my understanding.
Oh, wait a minute. So
That's just envy. They're just envious.
Which is one of the 7 deadly
by chance was the TikToker one of these alt-right freaks and they've now decided Rome wasn't a thing?
Oh yeah, big time,
Okay.
big time.
All right, first off,
It was just like I'm gonna get my clout.
I don't. Okay, so I want to say this. Let's say it was the communists and the anarchists running society. In that scenario, obviously, I don't agree with jailing your political opponents under any circumstance, unless you're jailing them for something that is apolitical. That is, they've committed murder.
What kind of wrath is that? It's supposed to be like public floggings.
That right.
Excuse me.
That said, I want to point out that the alt-right is the group of people right now who are pretending in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that only Clinton was guilty, and they're totally ignoring Trump, meaning they just picked their pedophiles. So, like, I want to point that out. And then, like, it's curious that they decided to just be like, no, Rome's not a thing. Greece, though.
I love how he stops with Trump and doesn't go with Skinner still. I mean, if we're talking about pedophiles.
Oh yeah, there's a whole
Yeah.
club. It's the pedophile club, bro. There's all the club.
Yeah, you hit a certain amount
But
of
that's the
money.
thing is, when you have so much power, you can fuck whoever you
Yeah, you can
want,
do
even
whatever
if
you
they
want.
don't consent.
Well, I
They
think
can't consent.
if you think about the list of things that Jeffrey Epstein's associated with by just like his peer group and his wealth, like,
It's all politicians. It's not just.
well, once you've gotten that many people killed or like burned alive or beheaded or stuff, like that's like switching back to the other thing
Watch that
is like
documentary.
mundane.
Epstein's Island.
That's
was
like
on Netflix.
that's like a disgusting
It was
thing you
great
did,
stuff.
and it's
Yeah, they had
viscerally
Epstein's
disgusting because
Island
that's the thing
and,
they'll
like,
show
most
you out of
was
all
for
of them. They
him
won't
and
show you
shit,
like
like,
all the people
He
Epstein
had
has caused to
criminals
be
that came
beheaded.
in, and then once they worked for him a certain amount, then
Yeah, because you had a whole list of rich people, right?
so then they
Yeah.
have to-
Oh yeah.
But they
He's like the fucked up Santa Claus. He's like Krampus.
He's
He
like,
is Krampus.
no, because
That's
Krampus
the-
didn't reward bad people with children to do that too.
That's true. That's very true. Krampus knocked.
Krampus not.
Like in theory, Krampus is still a moral figure. He's just like if Krampus shows up, you know you're the bad person.
Yeah. He just consumes.
And by the way, like the literal devil in the Bible, like if you show up and you meet the devil, like it's because you're bad. You've lured the devil there. That is an angel who just seeks out evil and then just like verifies that.
I don't know. I feel like they just be like, this is everything is the devil, and don't even. They just be willy nilly throwing it around like it's toothpaste.
And
I agree.
There was an observation on Chapo too I really like. Somehow the evangelical conservatives have managed to create Shia Islam without ever mentioning the word Islam.
Well, they're super into it.
Yeah, they really are though.
Especially with the anti-Islamic stuff, right? It's like the guy who's like, no, I'm not gay.
Yeah,
It's funny, yeah, because they be like, I hate it, but I love it, and I wish I was them.
And I wish I had it.
I wish we could do everything they did.
It's like
I hate that they have it and I don't.
It's like the closet. It's like the closet, like priest.
Ah, hey, their sin is envy.
Their sin is envy.
Yeah,
We got there. On topic today.
Welcome to the Sons
Shit
of
talking.
Trier.
We're never envious here.
I'm Dan Cohen. We're not close enough to round it out with a classic, so I'm Dan Cohen. And then I'm joined by Jank Engels.
Ah, self-hating capitalist. I'm back for another round.
Bam. And I'm joined by Michael Jordan Peterson.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, what's up? How you doing? I'm going to shoot this hoop right through some Jungian logic now.
Make sure you clean the room.
Watch me hit this three-pointer on why Hitler was bad because he was an erratic agent of chaos and not a systematic mass murderer.
He just wasn't systematic enough.
Nothing but net, bitch.
He just
All right.
accidentally lead his way into that.
Whoop. Yeah. Yeah, Jung is, it's a thing. Jungian it's a thing you can be. That's a choice he made as an adult. He made that choice. All right. Evo, psych, but make it Catholic. Yeah, really. Let's do that. So, as promised, let's talk sins. The big seven, the seven deadly, as opposed to other sins that aren't on the list that if you pay attention,
Worship
all of
thy
them
mother and thy
are
father.
deadly.
That's penis. That's penis envy.
Yeah,
Oh.
like eating shrimp or whatever. Or
Yep.
honestly,
Thou shalt not do anything whatsoever.
by the way, who's the wonderful guest tonight?
Oh yeah, you got a stage name? You got a stage name?
Bug.
Bug. Okay.
B-U-G-G.
B-U-G-G. Welcome, Bug.
Welcome, bud.
Hi.
Yes, welcome. This is amazing. We haven't had a feminine voice on this podcast in ages, so thank you.
Oh, I am so pleased you recognize my voice as feminine.
What? How could I not?
The correct answer is alien, hive mind, collective.
No, that's not nice.
Aw.
All right. So,
I was once an alien hive mind collective. It was quite a week.
My ex was too. Kind of a Borg.
kind of a Borg.
It's a Borg situation.
Yeah. By the way,
There may or may not have been other drunk feminine voices present this evening. I do apologize for all that.
It's probably already offended.
Yeah, I scared him off. Don't worry.
No, you'll know when I'm butthurt.
So
Jake will
Anton
be
LaVey's Church of Satan.
Let him roll. Let him do his. He's got his point. Oh, okay. You gonna let it play? Okay, let it play. Let's go.
Oh, I don't know how to explain.
You were saying Church of Satan.
So one of the commandments is do unto others as they do unto you. So this drunk chick over here was like, I want to do unto other people as they do unto me, and I'm like, okay, that's Satanism. And she's like, what? And I scared her away.
No, that's all it took.
That was it.
No,
She's
okay,
gone.
cool.
Be gone, devil. Be gone.
My bad. My bad.
She's for the Jeebus, but not really because she doesn't follow the teaching of the Jeebus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those. Okay, yeah.
Nobody
Cool.
pays attention.
I don't know.
to
Never met her before tonight.
I'm gonna point this out too. Everybody cites Sodom and Gomorrah as like it's because they were doing all the ass fucking. That's why they blew it up. Actually, if you read that story, it's not so much the ass fucking that God had a problem with. It was just like you're letting people starve and you have slaves, but you're also ass fucking. You got time to be ass fucking while people are hungry?
I thought it was because they were unkind to guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a priority issue. It's like it just wasn't systematic enough, right?
You got time to do both, huh?
Yeah, they were
You
agents
got
of chaos.
You got time to
I don't
catch
know.
these hands.
There's definitely been times I've had more time to fuck than to be a good human being.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. God wasn't so much mad. He wasn't so mad about all screwing. He was mad. He's like, you got time for ass fucking, but no time for feeding people, and you got time to catch these hands. Boom.
Meteor hands.
Those
Throw
burn
the beans
down,
on them, bitch.
burn down.
Yeah. That's what got them burnt down. So I'm not convinced the evangelical story is even like can even hold up. Like people will still cite that, and I'm like, I don't think.
Oh,
you
without
read
a
it
doubt.
either. Yeah, I barely read the Bible. I'm usually like, what's a messed up thing I could probably find in this book? And I flip a couple of pages. I'm like, it's pretty fucked up. All right, I'm satisfied. Good job.
You do a little old page flip shuffle and
Yeah.
find a quote. Find a quote on them and flex on them.
Good job, you crazy Hittite storm god. Good for you. You really made a religion out of it. You won.
Oh,
You
the
won game.
Hittites.
Yeah. Well, that's where, okay. First off, let's be really technical, right? Like, there's a reason for, like, the name Michael, Raphael, Sataniel, right? That's of El. Because that's his name. His name is just El. Like, he's arrogant enough to just call himself, like, my name is Lord.
Yeah,
That's it.
Lord, yeah.
Yeah. And
Lord.
That's because Elohim, Lord Almighty, was like sitting at the top of the Hittite pantheon as a storm god, hence the lightning bolts. That's where all that shit really comes from. And enough people were like, "That's a pretty good idea, Hittites. We'll just steal that from you," because they lived right at that spot where you could get you can go west to Greece or you can go south to the Middle East, the near Middle East.
And suddenly there was like, oh shit, this Rob motherfucker is cool. We gonna steal that shit.
Yeah, let's steal that shit too. Yeah.
We gonna steal that shit. We gonna steal some shit from the people down the street. We gonna get all of it. We gonna get the best. It's a greatest hits tape.
Yeah.
That sounds like white people stealing language from literally everybody else.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the original theft.
Well, not to brag, but we Jews were pretty good at making a good story. Pretty good at it. There's a reason we run Hollywood, you know.
All right, fair. You win.
Yeah. It's tough but fair here. We're tough but fair.
All right, I'll take it.
You're the big L in the house.
I am. Well, without the other Jew here. Normally this is
Yeah, that's right. He
Jew
supersedes you, right? He's
He
in his
does.
jewelry.
He is the Uber Jew. And
Is that
he's
where
also
jewelry
the
comes
only
from?
Chinese.
Jewelry?
He's our in.
Could be.
When the Red
Maybe.
Army invades, we're rallying around John Sinclair. He wins most Chinese on the podcast. But I digress. We're going too far here. So let's talk sins. All right, bam. Let's go. We got the 7. Everybody, we already had fun naming the 7 in the pre-show. I'm not going to rehash that point until we actually go point by point. Let's talk about I want to go with the underdog first. I want to go with Sloth because we may as well just piss off the left while we're here and then just go piss off everybody else. See, that way we're baiting the rest of them.
You're pissing off the left with Sloth? That's too easy, bro.
Well, that's the thing they never want to admit to. Like,
I'll admit straight up, I'm a total lib, and I if I had a spirit animal, it would be the sloth.
Actually, sloth are pretty vicious and nasty.
Oh, I love their claws.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up. You piss with a sloth in the wild, they will fuck you up.
Oh, and they travel up to 20 miles for a mate.
Yes.
They are not playing.
It's not all 20 miles.
No, they go far. It's in the jungle. They got to go through water and shit.
Yeah.
It's not and you're going at a sloth pace.
Yeah, 20 miles at a
20
sloth
miles at
pace.
sloth pace is like 100 miles. It's like 1,000 miles.
If the terrain is sufficiently favorable, you can escape a sloth.
Ever see a
with just
sloth
brisk
swim?
pace.
No.
Sloth swim.
No. No, that's
No.
no,
In the water with snakes and shit.
no.
Oh, snakes are snaky.
Yeah,
Dan's going down under.
I'm going down
There's
under.
the
No.
lust.
No.
Least motivated sloth. Now, okay, so what sloth refers to is apathy or inactivity ultimately, right? What's cool is despair used to be a sin. If you go back far enough in your readings, despair was its own sin. It was different than sloth. Like sloth was like kind of this like active, like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not doing that. Despair was, oh, woe was me. Oh.
So which one is leftist infighting?
That's sloth.
That's quite a few of them. That's like all of them, right?
That's,
It's all rolled into a roll pretzel.
swear to God. So let me explain, right? You get the idea, you get the fusion of abject despair and active inactivity, where you're making the conscious decision to not do shit, right? You're making the active decision to not do it, as opposed to like, oh, I just didn't know about it and I didn't do it, or as opposed to I picked an option. Like you just picked, nah, right? So that got rolled in with depression, which was the original despair. Like if you're just so sad and suicidal, woe is me, right? That used to be a sin of its own accord, because like if you could feel that bad about yourself, you're clearly ignoring the love of God, which that's a cool sin. I just want to say it right now. That is a cool sin, because like the idea that psychological despair means you're sinning, so you have to force yourself to pretend to be happy. Mwah, love it. 10 out of 10. Great job, Catholics. Good job. Good job, guys. Really knew how to make people feel like shit and give you money. That's a great salesman's pitch. Capitalists learned it somewhere is all I'm going to say about that. But the idea is that sloth is a type of apathy, wherein you see something and you simply do nothing about it, right? So it is considered to be like the consent of sins, if you will. And it's treated as if it's the bottom rung. I remember taking the table of sins when I was taking classes for catechism. Keep going with that thought. I can't wait to see how that finishes. But you can think of sloth as the primary motivator behind liberal democracy, okay? Remember how I said that there's the difference between like cooperation and consent, and that Irami, I would say Frimpong, let me get that right. I want to hit my man's name right. Great. Remember how he makes a clear distinction between governing by consent and governing by cooperation, right?
Yeah.
It's mere agreement, right? And like the offloading of responsibility versus accepting responsibility, being an active participant, right? So that's where sloth sits. And a lot of the sins that flow forth actually all come from, like, they start with some sort of core sloth. The left is content to primarily hang out in that slothful neighborhood, right? And as was detailed by ContraPoints, much to everybody hating her.
Contra is my mommy. Don't you dare.
I'm not doing anything.
We would never.
I gave a rousing defense of the fact that she was right. Okay? On envy, on calling envy what it was.
Yes.
He did. I seen it.
I made a rousing defense of her. I said, you're all mad because she's right. And I went on to detail why she's right. And if anything, the only reason she's wrong is she thought you had enough activity in you to overcome your own sloth to be envious. But what sloth refers to is, and again, it is primarily a left symptom. If you notice, the liberals can motivate, when they want to be motivated, they're hyper fucking laser focused on achieving a goal. The conservatives have so much energy, they don't know what to do with themselves. The left is overconsumed by a sense of defeat, suspicion, and they just rot. It just rots as a movement. It rots on the vine. It's even, if you bother to do the lowest quality of work that we're doing right now, which is theory work, right? Even that is offensive to some leftists. They're content to be able to sit around in their underwear and tweet as if that were some sort of world-changing experience. If they tweet like, "Come on, guys, seriously, can we not really?" And they treat that as if that's some high moral caliber, on par with like Vladimir Lenin, the Russian revolutionaries, the Chinese revolutionaries, Mao. They put themselves on the same pedestal. This grand delusion, right? Because as it turns out, vainglory is also a very, very lazy sin. Doesn't require much. You just have an overinflated sense of ego. Between minor sins and the deadly sins. Feeling caught here, alienating your chat. Well, we're getting over the left part. Because, frankly, I don't think the left has anything to do any of the other sins, right? Maybe a little bit of wrath here and there. God
There's
knows.
some good
we
envy
hate
every
each
now
other.
and then, I think.
Yeah, envy. When they're feeling motivated, they get real envious and fucking shitty. But yeah,
Okay.
Sloth is
I mean,
that ability.
they do gluttony pretty well.
Do they?
No, not really. We'll get to gluttony. Let me define it. We'll get there.
Okay.
Moving ahead of the game. So, when the left gets off its ass and decides to do something, what does it do? It acts out, generally speaking, in envy, right? You can call the fall of Jimmy Dore just him yielding to the grift, finally making that transition to being a total grifter. Main rightoid talking point is aiming at lust. Yeah, we'll get to lust. Oh, we'll get to lust. We're gonna get to lust and greed.
Those are my favorites.
Lust rocks, greed sucks.
Sorry, guys. Must get drink. I just came to shit talk. I will follow the podcast, and I might be back.
Okay, go get
right.
a drink.
Yes.
So
Now I gotta find out what the
Bye.
I like how he brings a guest and then just leaves you here. He's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll stay.
I mean, I'm not at home, obviously.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, do what you do.
Doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Later,
do what you
guys.
do. Later.
Peace.
All right. So.
I'm hip. I'm with it.
Yeah, you're with
Lust, envy.
You're going down this road. And you can find the left. You can provoke the left into a little bit of wrath. Generally speaking, liberals are very, very good at provoking a wrathful reaction from the slothful. But even then, the way the left presents it, it is still very much routed in sloth, not wrath. Okay, and that's a lot of the call out shit you do on the internet. You know, you don't meet with other people, you don't meet with your friends, you don't try to create the working class movement. So by and large, those who self-identify as leftists suffer a hell of a lot of sloth. Yeah, right? MJP rocks. Love him. 10 out of 10. Known him forever. So.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, fucking total Chad. Way more Chad than me. Look at me. Look at this Jew thing going on here. Look at all that. So what the left is called or self-identified as is, generally speaking, kind of this weak thing rotting on the vine, right? Now you do find legitimate leftist action in America, right? The DSA will do things that are genuinely useful, genuinely good. Whether or not people want to hear that, I'm sorry. Okay, you look for Blassie, sweetheart. You will find that every now and then you can get a CPUSA chapter started up. You can get some sort of anarchist mutual aid arrangement going on in your local neighborhood. But ultimately, like, you're not seeing the kind of mass workers movement we need. That is a failing of the left. Like, leaving that space as a vacuum for the right is absolutely a failing of the left. We should have that vote lock, stock, and ready to wield pipes when necessary. And we don't, right? And that's partially on us because we didn't fight back sufficiently. And we are the children, the byproduct of that not fighting back, and we're all left in this kind of suspended state. And that leaves us guilty of sloth, inactivity, right? And the activity we do is, I don't know. Let me see how hard it is to type a denouncement on Twitter. Hold on. Navigate to Twitter.
I'm going to go with pretty easy. I mean, you do have to create a Twitter, I suppose.
Yeah. And some people are too lazy to do that.
That barrier is fairly high if you're unwilling to do that.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna be a really big dickhead here. And I am absolutely gonna hide behind my identity on this because I have severe back problems, right? Right now I can't feel my right foot, and my right leg goes intermittently in and out as to whether or not it will function at full capacity. And that's only getting worse as time goes on unless I start losing some weight. So I am amongst these cohorts. There is a genuine movement on Twitter, a genuine movement on Facebook, a genuine movement on all social media channels to inflict upon the disabled community the idea that disabled people are entirely useless. And that is derived not from wrath. That is derived purely from sloth. Somebody who is suffering sufficient despair and talking very loudly on Twitter all day and not logging off and touching grass, or not asking somebody to go bring them some grass from outside to let them touch it. Somebody who doesn't want to meet people, right? They are definitely reinforcing the worst stereotypes about disabled people being absolutely useless. And that's a crock of shit. A disabled body is still a body with organs, and it can still be provoked to action and movement. May not be the same as an able-bodied person. Whatever that truly means in our society is just rampant health problems eviscerate the population. But whatever that really means, they can still be spurned to action and movement, consumption and production. But these lazy vultures hover around it. Instead of rallying to make that happen, they choose the most lazy route, which is you should be just like me, a lazy piece of useless shit, because that's all you are anyway. Your internalized bigotry stems from sloth, because it's easier to accept that than it is to actually accept that maybe there's a personal failing or a setback that you need to overcome. And to some extent, it's understandable, right? There's a lot of setbacks in society these days.
Right.
In some ways, it's better than it has been ever before, and in some ways, it's incredibly worse. Because you can just be hit by that messaging over and over again from a myriad of angles that you simply couldn't suffer before, right? And it rots at your brain. So that is the sin of sloth in a nutshell, right? That's where it's all wrapped up. That's where it's all tied up in. And now let's move on. We've crossed the grand gate, right? I believe Dante had sloth much lower in the old hierarchy of hell, but in reality, that is the purest of the gateways.
Well, yeah. In the time that Dante was writing,
yeah,
I think sloth was a more insidious sin.
Do you?
Yes.
Why?
I'm going to go with yes. Because
you get attacked by wolves?
Well, I mean, to some extent, yeah, because you could get attacked by wolves. But I think more relevantly, because the lack of access to simplifying devices definitely means that, sloth compounds itself. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes harder to move forward the further back you go.
I kind of agree with
you. Nowadays, if I don't go shopping for food, I can order food to my door.
Yeah.
And that is a product of sloth.
That's not sloth. That still takes human action to do that. That's not actually sloth.
Sure. But the setback of not getting that food becomes significantly more if it takes more work to get that food.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, but for a completely different reason. I think sloth was more insidious because they believe that was a gateway to atheism. Like that's if you want me to be dead ass, like that's what I think. I think back then it was a gateway to atheism, which was a gateway to the church not getting money from you. Because if you simply reject
Dante writing?
Dante was writing in the 1300s, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
In very, 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 very Catholic Italian kingdoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think my statement does have some merit to it. There's probably a little bit of both here.
Like I said, I agree with you, but for a completely different reason. I'm willing to take that one. I'm willing to agree with you, but again, I suspect they were afraid more of atheism, and they felt like sloth was the gateway to it. That was your.
You just don't want to pray 7 times a day.
He doesn't do anything now. He's an atheist because he tried a little sloth. That's what I
This is no. It's got to be in the style of the 40s and 50s announcements. This is Jimmy. Jimmy was a normal child until he tried
American
sloth.
Boy murdering his communist neighbors until Jimmy tried sloth. Now Jimmy's a homosexual and an atheist.
I'd watch that movie.
Like Jimmy. Yeah. All right, so that's it. We're good. We're good with the gateway. We get a little juicy sampler, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we want to talk about? Which one do you want next? Because I'm feeling
Oh, let's go with mine. I'm gluttonous. Let's go.
Gluttony. Okay, let's go with the sins of consumption, as I like to call them.
Hmm.
Right? If sloth is the sin of inactivity, let's call, for the sake of argument, let's call lust, gluttony, and greed the sins of consumption.
Okay, that checks out.
So
I
far,
want
so
more.
good.
All of those are I want more in some way.
Well, they're not I want more. I'm going to consume more. Gluttony. If you think you're gluttonous, you can easily get lazy and label. By the way, chat, yes, I agree. Sloth was the original sin. Eat from the tree of knowledge, and you'll have all the knowledge. You don't have to go out and find it yourself. Oh, okay, I'll just do that. I'll just consent to it. So yeah, I just want to touch on that. So let's define gluttony this way for a second, and then see how it fits into American politics, right? Gluttony is an act of consumption. And the lazy person would define it. The lazy person would define gluttony as mere overconsumption. But what the hell is overconsumption in a society of abundance, right? Doesn't make much sense. It's easy to fathom gluttony in the context of the king feasting, right? While the peasants starve. They have wheat and he has boar, that kind of thing. That's easy to conceive of. We live in a different world. We live in a world where hedonism can be taken prima facie because we're supposed to be near or beyond scarcity. So it can't be a sin of overconsumption during a period of scarcity. Technically speaking, we should all be beyond scarcity. We have the technology to do so. We have the resources to do so. A whole planet's abundance to us. However, we can define gluttony as the act of needless consumption. And
I'm all about this sin.
Yes. If you... It is easy to write it off, right? It is easy to write it off as the addict. That would be, if we were going into psychology, the addict would be guilty of gluttony. This is not a pleasurable thing. This is not about conquest. This is about mere act, the repeated act of the sin. Performing the sin is what makes it gluttonous. Because the only thing you're doing is fulfilling the ritual of sin without mulling it over, right? So you have the mindlessness of sloth, but unlike sloth, there is very much activity going on. And now let's levy our accusation. It is an act, right? It is not an act of desire. There's no desire in it. It is just the repeat ritual of consumption. That's the critical difference. Lust and greed, there is a clear desire. There is a purpose for doing what you're doing. You have a clear goal in mind when you're acting out of lust or you're acting out of greed. Gluttony, there's no clear goal. You're just mindlessly consuming, right? And it seems very... Yeah, you do. We love it, don't we, folks? It seems very, very easy to level that again. It's easy, to the point of laziness, intellectual laziness, to level that against the addict, right? Why are you smoking your fifth cigarette on break? I don't know, man. I just like smoking, right? Easy enough. Why are you drinking your 90th beer today? Oh, you're drinking. No. We're going beyond that. We're going to levy that at people who are impassioned about horse race politics. And this one, in any country that allows for voting, anybody who's obsessed with the ritual of voting and making sure to vote within the established norms and binaries, right? If it's a multi-party democracy, there's 4 major parties, voting within those 4. Canada, the UK, US, it's 2 major parties, voting for the Democrats or Republicans only. Not being able to conceive of yourself voting beyond that, ritualistically performing the act. Well, there's a D by my name, there's an R by my name. Doing it. Doing it to vote. Vote or die. Get out to vote. All that bullshit. Those people who support the system mindlessly and consume from the trough, actively yet mindlessly, not actually mulling over the implications of their actions, but unlike the slothful, just ritualistically doing the thing, right? Not questioning. That is the act of the gluttonous. So if you're really obsessed with getting people engaged in the voting process, but don't care about the end result of that voting process, Those banal voter drives and all that bullshit. Those are gluttonous people. Just consuming. Keep performing the ritual. Keep doing it. Keep consuming. It has no aim, has no end goal, but you're still doing it. It's different than the American consumer. The American consumer is actually something really motivated by a lot of emotions and motivated to action. They don't really mindlessly consume all that much. Again, if you rule out the addicts, which is the laziest definition of gluttony, and you can get that anywhere. No. This is about performing the mere ritual. You can even see gluttonous opinions formed by people who, like Nancy Pelosi, who are lamenting the fact that Republicans aren't more gluttonous. We need a strong Republican Party. The fuck we do. You're supposed to win the fucking fight. Where's your pride? Where's your wrath, bitch? Where is it at? No. It's about the sheer gluttony of it. It's supposed to be this big kabuki theater, right? It's all those participants therein. Mainstream media is guilty of this. As a political actor, they're incredibly gluttonous. If the goal is just consume, just push it out. Just push it out. Just push it out. Do the ritual. Pretend like everything's normal. Do the ritual. Right? Gluttony is an act almost of evasion. To evade reality, we must perform the ritual in the veneer. We have to just keep repetitively doing it. Gluttony is not just mindlessly cramming food down your gullet, right? That's the classic one. But again, we don't live in an era where that's so much the problem. You can just go get more food. The food's there, right? Again, addicts, bleh. Heard it. No, it's the mindless, repetitive act. Children are overwhelmingly gluttonous of all things. If you watch a child with a YouTube account, if you look at a teenager who's got his earbuds sitting there beside him, Mark Fisher detailed this one. His students sitting with their earbud playing music, but out of their ear, or in their ear, but not playing music, just repeating the ritualistic act thereof. Not slothful. Again, there's still an action. There's still something they're trying to do. They're trying to make their body consume something, but there's no relevant reason why. People suffering ennui, paradoxically, tend to suffer nasty gluttony. Everything they're doing is for the sake of satisfying the ritual. There is no greater desire beyond that. If we contrast that with lust, and lust is best not defined by the pervert. Obviously, the pervert has lust in them, but it's not best defined by the pervert. Again, that's the lazy definition. We just leave it there. The lustful consume for the sake of satisfying their own desire or goal. It's not mindless consumption for its own sake, and it's not greed, even though it looks to be greed. Greed and lust have the same expression, but fulfill a different purpose. The lustful don't necessarily begrudge the other. They don't view themselves in a war of all against all. They simply like something. They enjoy something, and they continue to consume it. Right? If your addict's actually having a good time when they're on the throes of the addiction, this is more in what your addict is actually doing. The overconsumption fulfills an actual base desire within them. Not a hole that's missing. It's not ennui. It's not just a bored ritual. And they're not trying to get one over on somebody else. We see this behavior in collectors, hoarders, right? Hoarders can be considered gluttonous, but if they really enjoy the thing they're hoarding, just by sheer accident. And a lot of them genuinely do. It's better to describe that symptom as a symptom of lust. You have people like Joe Biden. Joe Biden simply likes consuming the abstract notion of power. He doesn't do what he does for money. He does what he does for the sake of being in politics and just being there. He's not actually trying to do anything, which we're seeing live, right? Every day we see Joe Biden not doing anything because he's not greedy. This is often a point of confusion, but somebody like Joe Biden is driven by a deep personal lust. I have to consume this power. I have to consume this status. I have to. I love it. I can't stop. I'm dying and I still have to consume. Right? You could accuse me of this with pornography. You'd be right. You just have to. I just love it. I love it so much. I fucking love it. It's so fulfilling every time I see it. Just love it. I have to have more. Your career politicians who really don't have no grand political project, which again does not describe the actual right. Those who do not have a grand political project and are motivated by sheer love of what they're doing, the power they're acquiring. Your Pete Buttigieg's, your Kamala Harris's. They don't care how they acquire it, they want to acquire it. Neoliberals are driven by a very deep-seated lust simply to have power in this abstract thing called merit.
Oh, the meritocracy.
All hail the meritocracy. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
MJP back for the three-peat.
So when you're trying to understand these people, what you have to understand is them being there is sufficient. That's the end goal. That's the end game. That's what you're supposed to rejoice in. They've fulfilled this masturbatory act. Masturbation is an act of lust. These things that are purely masturbatory, right? All these things are lumped into lust. Consequently, we tend to see a lot of wrath when the lust object is not fulfilled, right? Democrat loses an election, it's the voters' fault. It's everybody else's fault. You interrupted me jerking off. That's what it boils down to. You didn't
You
let
stopped
me
me
bust.
at my climax.
Denial. Orgasm denial. Orgasm denial.
Now let's talk about greed. Greed is the right wing, one of the right wing sins, and it's a great one. It represents, again, it presents itself the same as lust. I have to have the power. My team has to have the power. We have to have that power. But unlike the lustful who simply want to acquire this abstract notion of power and do fuck all with it. Oh no, they got to let you know they acquired the power. It has to be visible, tangible, and palpable. That no matter what it is, a real object or an immaterial object, we're holding it over you, that we have it and you do not. We have to overconsume precisely to show you how less than you are.
Greed and envy feel like they're very closely tied.
They're not at all. Fascinating.
You
You'd
feel
say
like
that.
it though.
You feel like it. They're not. The relationship there is antagonistic. It's purely antagonistic. That is thesis and antithesis. So I will submit then that I was wrong. They are related, but probably not in the way you're thinking. They are related as living antagonists. And we will get to them. Right? So it's very easy to see. You see somebody like Mitch McConnell. You see somebody like Donald. Donald Trump is the living avatar of greed. Literally the sin walking. It's mine. I should have it. Me. That's probably not like, oh my God, that's a revolutionary take. But it's really important to understand what's the purpose. The purpose is so Trump can lord that power over you. Number of followers. It's important that he has the most followers, the best followers, the ones who use the
biggest
words,
crowd.
The biggest crowd. All of these things. It's all about the ego satisfaction. But it's not mere ego satisfaction. It has the component of rubbing it in other people's faces. It's petty. It speaks to a psychological emptiness. Unlike the lustful, who get irate and wrathful whenever they cannot bust, the greedy cannot bust. There is no end where they can bust. They can never achieve fulfillment from this. Trump is the most unhappiest human being, the most uncontented human being, the most unsatisfied human being ever, and yet, paradoxically, has no problem showing you the gold-plated toilet in his gold-plated plane. Even if the fucker can't fly, he has a gold plane and you don't. Because there's no way for him to finish, that you can't finish. That is a path to where finishment cannot end. It is. You want to know what's related to greed? Erectile dysfunction is related to greed. Imagine the horniest dude in the world who can't get it up.
All right, so the politician I've been using for the past bit here, describing, the anti-gay politicians secretly having gay sex on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Are they envious or greedy?
They are envious.
Envious that the
okay, they're probably since they're probably on the right, they're both. But the specific phenomena you're describing is most likely driven by envy. So those are the sins of consumption, right? And what pairs deliciously well with greed, right? Sins of the ego. Envy and pride. What goes deliciously well with greed? Pride.
I mean, pride would definitely go well with greed.
You'd think.
Yeah, that's it. That's all in that narcissism circle, right?
Pride goes best with lust.
Oh, okay. I mean, I see it.
So we have Joe Biden, right? We have Joe Biden who's been satisfied in his act of lust. All those people who are now irate that they've accomplished their goal and it has no payoff. They're acting out of pride. They've achieved. They crushed the left. They did the hard work. They have nothing to show for it. When people don't obey the liberal morality, the neoliberal paradigm, when people reject it.
And they're going to get rolled in 2022.
They're so going to get rolled in 2022, and they won't be able to see it precisely because of pride. Because they are the most moral, the most righteous, the most
Right. Who
selfless
could possibly
people.
disagree with them?
How could you peons, how could you plebes, how could you dirty commoners not see that I am perfection incarnate?
But have you tried electing better Democrats?
My creation, this manufactured object of lust, I have scraped off the ground and gotten elected. You should be kissing my ass because I deigned it the most moral. I deigned it the most superior option. Me, right? It's still,
I guess.
If the sins of consumption are sins of the id, these are sins of the ego. So the proud are not people like Joe Biden. He's not actually proud that he's jerking off in public. He knows what he's doing. He's not proud of it. He may feel
Because that's not his sin.
What's that?
Because that's not his sin.
That's not his sin. No. He's lustful. And his object of lust is temporarily sated.
Why they're so horny all the time?
That is partially
Inexplicably.
why they're so horny all the time. That honestly,
Inexplicable horniness.
Honestly, that's part of it. It's why they're horny all the time and feel it's so important to inflict their horniness upon you. Now the left has a little bit of pride in it. Every now and then you can rattle that cage. You can find an anarchist who's completely powerless, who will just do nothing to talk about their version of horny, which is incredibly sus. But again, we fall back on, no, I approve of it, so it's okay. Because of my political leanings, I am clearly the arbiter of morality. Ergo, whatever makes me horny is perfectly fine. There's nothing perverted about it. There's nothing gross about it. You're wrong for calling me out. You're kink
Pollution porn.
Instead of an objective standard we're operating by the ego's own subjective standard, which always, of course, protects the self, right?
Right. Obviously. Why wouldn't it?
Correct. Now, what's its opposition? Envy. And this is one of the sins you can spurn the left into, but you can really get liberals on envy. You can make the prideful fall into envy so fucking quick. And we are going to use ContraPoints' definition of that. It is a defensive reaction of the ego. It is a defense of the ego. Something about me should be better and is not. So now I'm mad at you for having that thing I feel like I'm missing.
Oh.
A lot of that is political power.
Oh.
Envy comes in all voters. Especially after an election is lost. It is a defensive reaction. You see it.
But doesn't erectile dysfunction figure into that envy?
Yeah, you're not shooting your shot. It's a bus denied. You look at what they call Trump derangement syndrome. You look at right now, Biden's not my president and Trump's going to be sworn in at any given moment. We just got to wait for the right moment and wait for God's sign. All that shit, all of that is envy. It defends the ego. It defends those decisions made in the past. It doesn't allow you... What it blocks you from being able to do is analyze the current material conditions. And it prevents you from being able to analyze reality as it is. Instead makes you say shit like Trump's not my president, Biden's not my president, Clinton's not my president, Bush isn't my president. Yeah, he fucking is. I'm sorry, that's the dumb system you support. You take the risk of not having the guy you want be your representative. You take that risk every time you allow this system to continue as is. When you vote based off of consent and you don't demand cooperative governance, this is what you fucking get. No, not me. I want, blah, blah, blah. I wanted this. It's so bullshit that they have it. Blah, blah, blah,
Don't
blah, blah,
blame
blah.
me. I voted for Kodos.
Yeah, don't blame me. I voted for whoever. Fucking. That's all envy, politically speaking. That grading against the grain, against the current political reality that you have to operate in and try to win out of. No, it's fucking denialism.
The lesser of two evils, is that's envy, or is that lust?
Lesser of two evils is essentially gluttony.
Ah.
You got to vote for someone. That kind of dumb shit. You don't
Oh
ask
yeah,
me
you
that.
have to vote.
You have to vote, have to consume, have to perform the ritual. Yeah, you missed that part. Gluttony is a type of consumptive sin, a sin of the id, but it's a sin wherein the ritual must be fulfilled without caring about the consequences. Remember that voter die bullshit they had P. Diddy
Oh
do?
yeah, I hated that shit. I hated that.
Because
P. Diddy of all people, the most bankrupt of all motherfuckers.
Oh, it's weird. They got a morally bankrupt guy to fucking do a morally bankrupt thing. Oh, wow. Capitalism.
I don't know who is really falling for that though.
Libs.
Oh, it's not for us, it's for the libs.
If you were operating at the end of history at the end of the 90s, the most critical thing you were worried about was people dropping out of the political system. You needed them to perform the ritual. You needed them to perform an act of gluttony to keep the system going. Because otherwise, the end of history would be over and you would be shit out of luck. You don't know what's going to happen. We do now.
Oh, they knew. No, they know.
Oh, they couldn't have predicted this. They were too blind to it, intentionally blind to it. You couldn't have paid them to predict this. But I'll tell you what, it still happened. There were writers who did. If you ever read Jihad versus McWorld, they know what's going on. They knew it was down. Bankrupt neoliberalism versus fucking basically Shia Islam. That's what we live in. I think they would have predicted it as Sunni Islam if I'm going to be fucking technical. But so they were a little bit wrong. But
we'll give them the full credit for the points regardless, right?
I gotta say, you're shooting your shot in the 1990s. You cooked that shit up. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You called it. The end of history was only going to lead to a confrontation between petty consumerism and tribalist fucking radicalism. You nailed it, son. You might not have gotten the forms correct, the contours, but that's still an A+ on that fucking essay because you nailed it more than anybody else. All right.
Everyone probably laughed. They're like, you made down.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Continue.
So, last we reached the sin of the superego. Okay? When you're trying to reconcile your own id versus your own ego and your dream is deferred, your dream is denied. No busting for you for whatever reason. You can't bust or you'll never bust.
Is it your date failure?
What do you do?
Get angry.
You get mad. You got to take that shit out on other people.
Ooh, there it is.
There it is.
The boring one.
The nastiest sin of them all. The one we live under every second of every day in this filthy, godforsaken shithole called America. What you are seeing is a whole nation full of subcultures, each one of them denied the opportunity to bust, or ideologically incapable of reaching climax. And all of them are fucking mad at society. Even the ruling classes. Capitalism is so great that even the ruling classes who benefit from society can't quite fathom why they should fucking bother. They are mad at it. Welcome, my friends, to wrath. You see this at every fucking level. That January 6th bullshit, oh yeah, baby. Classic, unhinged fucking wrath. Gotta purge our society of all those politicians who betrayed the living God, the new Messiah. All those newest prophet, Donald Trump. Oh yeah. Good unfeathered wrath. These random fucking shootings, all of them just angry at society. Every incel who can't bust with a woman because he was trained to be an absolute piece of shit. And he's a spineless little slothful freak. And can't stand his own sloth. Can't look in the mirror. Can't look in the mirror and stomach himself. So he has to take it out on women. They ain't in that mirror. They ain't who he's really mad at. He's mad at himself but society has to pay for it. Oh, yeah. Wrath is the name of the game, friends. A whole society founded on it. All because, comically enough, one wrathful motherfucker, one wrathful piece of shit in 1865 had to go to a fucking theater with a handgun. And in classic American tradition, nobody thought that was weird. And he had to
Yeah,
shoot.
reactionary thinking is definitely wrath.
Yes.
99.9% wrath.
Oh, it goes beyond that, my friend. Although reactionary thinking is definitely always ends in wrath. It's not pure wrath. It's always motivated by something. Generally speaking, I'd say greed. If you want me to be honest, I should
Combination
have.
of greed and lust.
Nah, not so much lust. Lustful people are much more banal and bankrupt. They don't have a goal.
Really? I mean, I feel like they're denied their country, so they're just like that's where it spirals out, right?
But keep in mind, the purpose of the country is not to fulfill some aimless objective of having the country.
Yeah, you want the
It's to create a
power.
myth. It's to create a myth to say that they're denied the power to make them seek the power and
No.
self-deprecate and hate themselves.
It's not lust. It's greed. The reason they
Yeah,
want the
that's
nation
definitely
state
greed.
is
Yeah, it is greed.
They
Yeah,
want
you're
the
right. You're right.
underclass. They're mad they can't have slaves no more.
Damn it.
Yeah, they're still butthurt about that. Over 100 years later, they're pissed off they can't actually go to the market and buy a slave.
It would make their lives a lot easier, they think.
Yeah, they think it would be a lot better that way. All you gotta do is feed them and clothe them. You get to rape them.
Okay, baby.
But the problem is we don't let them do that no more. Now they have to already have capital to be able to buy slaves. They have to be able to buy into the prison system. They have to own a temporary agency. You got to own.
It was
ranch
never
land.
able to do that.
No, but they feel like they're being denied that right, just like the incel. The incel believes they should be having this smorgasbord
Right.
of sexual activity with a woman who's completely
Oh,
captive
these
to them.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they've been denied the right, regardless of whether or not it's their own fucking misgivings that have failed them, and they were never going to get that ability anyway.
They were never going to have that
It was
ability.
denied the right buff when they was born.
I mean, let's be honest. The problem with the incel, when they say I'm shitty and I smell bad, you really do. You are shitty and you smell bad. But instead of taking a bath and acting better, you choose to get mad at women over it.
And then shoot them.
And then shoot at them. And then you shoot at dudes because you think they're having more sex than you. Which they are. Because, they're shitty too. But they took a bath.
And
They know how to
their
act in
response
political
wasn't to shoot
society.
at women.
Yeah, and their response
I
wasn't
feel
to
like
try
we're
to
talking
kill
about dogs
Yeah. Wait, why?
because they don't want to take their bath.
Basically, dog people, the incels. Yeah, you're right. You actually, the thing is, people will be like, incels don't have their problems, right? Yeah. No, they got their problems pretty well nailed down. They're kind of ugly, right? Even the hot ones are kind of ugly because they act like shit all the time. And they don't exude confidence. They exude a kind of creepy weirdness. Because they feel entitled to something they can't have and they're frustrated by it, so they're constantly hiding their frustrations. And of course, they don't really bathe. They like to piss and shit on themselves for the lulls, right?
Right.
They're peeing
And
pissing
one of
on
those things is way more important than a lot of them.
Yeah. They get mad at pickup artists because they think women follow a script and that's how you get them into bed. Motherfucker.
But if they say the lines, it doesn't work for them, and they're confused as to why.
Yeah, that should be my path back to entitlement. That's where they all fall from. They all fall from the PUA. They all fall from the PUA artistry, right? That's where they all fall because it didn't work for them. They were shitty and abusive to women. They found women with low self-esteem who are easy to manipulate. Why wasn't I successful? Why didn't you go to bed with me? Well, most pickup artists take a shower. If you want me to be very frank, you haven't showered in 3 months. They go out and meet women. I'm not even saying what they do is right, but I can tell you why they're more successful than you. You refuse to meet women, and when you do meet them, you call them whores.
Right.
There
is the bare minimum, and you are failing it.
Yeah, even your verbal abuse is wrong. You can't make a depressed woman have pity sex with you. You really are a failure as a man. I don't know what to tell you. You're right. The way to fix that is, of course, fix your shit. That's what Jordan Peterson's desperately trying to do to incels. God love him. He's just trying to make them fix their shit. He's trying to make them fix their shit in all the wrong ways, which makes them shittier. But I 110% believe Jordan Peterson's he's trying to be an act of nobility, a voice of reason in the room to the incel crowd. But it doesn't work. And what do they devolve into? Base, filthy wrath. Paradoxically, the highest order sin, the resolution of the ego and the id, where reality comes careening into your stupid delusions. And paradoxically, the laziest of them all, because you're just feeding a petty, fucking boring emotion. You're just feeding your own fucking insecurities.
You're not even doing the work to do nothing.
You're not even doing enough work to do nothing, you lazy piece of shit. That's right. I mean, that's the paradox of the pathology, isn't it? That's the paradox of the sins presented. You're too lazy to just go fuck it and give it up. Which, funny enough, is the pathway back out of sin. The moment you can just say fuck it and give it up, you have the opportunity to cross back through the gate. That door swings both ways, because then you can change your thinking. Once you've fed all these other sins to a certain point, there's no escape. You really are in hell. You are dead while alive, and you are in hell. There is no life everlasting for you. The life everlasting for you is the sweet release of death. The chance to end your sin. There's no, I can tell you this right now. Donald Trump is going to live to be like 115. They're going to keep pumping him full of shit so he can be alive. He's going to have the best robotic heart, even better than Dick Cheney's. He will brag about surviving the surgery and simultaneously not having had it because he's in such good health.
Right.
And he will be so fucking unhappy along the way. He will be begging for death that will be denied to him until one moment death decides to take mercy. The man is trapped in his own hell of his own making. And when he dies and goes to the great kingdom, he's going to get rejected at the gates, and then he's going to be stuck in his own brain forever. Sataniel is not going to reward him with the release into the kingdom of heaven, letting him cross the gates. Sataniel is simply going to lock him inside his own head in front of a mirror forever. I can promise you that. There is no greater punishment for a piece of shit like that than to be stuck by himself with himself.
With no one to impress but himself.
Nobody to impress, forced to reconcile what he is for all eternity. That's the hell awaiting Donald Trump, and he fears it because he's figured it out too. If there's life after this, the afterlife, that's it. He's not going to have anybody to lord it over. He's never going to feel satisfaction for what he's done in life. He's just going to have to look at himself. There is nothing more for him. Just an empty white space with him locked in a series of mirrors that can never be broken. And enough light to make sure that he has to see himself clearly and plainly forever. And it scares him deep down. He knows that. And nobody's willing to capitalize on it. I'm not saying put a bullet in him. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is nobody's willing to capitalize on that defeat and just make him look at himself. Nobody ever does it. Everybody else keeps
It's hard to
feeding that
tell
delusion.
since I didn't bring a car.
All right, guys, I gotta drive. I will listen to the rest later.
Yeah, well, we'll be heading out soon. It's cruising in towards that closing time.
Okay.
In Joe
All right, well,
Biden's,
catch you guys later.
Joe Biden's hell,
Peace.
in his hell, his presidency will be revoked from him. And he will be forced to
Damn it,
relive
Cohen.
that moment when he lost in the fucking Iowa and took 6th place. He will relive that forever. That's where life will stop for him. That's what Yahweh is going to do. Great Adonai, Sataniel's boss. That's his punishment waiting him, because that is the most nasty fucking thing you can do to him, is to make him look at the moment he lost. His lust was almost destroyed that entire time. And just
Except in his hell, it'll
unsatisfied
be
forever.
destroyed.
In his hell, it will repeat itself forever, ad nauseum. That day and that night. Locked in an eternal cycle of watching himself almost fucking facepalm. And every time he's facepalmed, with no real power to show for it. Every time he lost a presidential race, every time. Rammed right in
All
his skull.
57 of them, whatever it was.
All 5 before this one. Just rammed at him forever. And nobody to brag about any of his petty victories. With all the costs he's paid, all the family members he's watched bleed to death or get brain cancer, all the damage he's done to the country, none of it will mean anything because he will be dead in the grave, a useless body without organs. And that's the hell awaiting him. And the difference between the greedy and the lustful is the lustful can take a lot more solace in what they got now. And that's precisely why Yahweh's going to take that memory from him, because it all meant nothing then. Hell is a nasty place. We envision it as a place of fire and brimstone. And a lot of the time, hell is just a mirror.
Yeah.
And we all try to run away from. What do you think? What do you think of that
I think
one?
hell is other people, and I agree.
You think hell's other people? I think hell is the lack of other people. That's where we
It depends on the person.
I disagree with. I suppose could be. But oh yeah, if I'm writing the Inferno today, look a lot fucking different. A lot less mud. A lot less darkness. I don't think hell is a dimly lit place of fire and brimstone with the only light being the light dancing from the lava and the fires, with the shadows dancing on the walls behind you. I really do believe hell is a whole lot of mirrors. Whole lot of fucking mirrors, and you're stuck there to look at who you are and what you've done.
Well, nice and dark.
Oh, it is grim. I didn't say it wasn't grim, but no, it's bright. I think it's a very bright place. Honesty is the thing all these things run from. They're all acts of delusion. Intentional, socially manufactured delusion. This is not the classic medical schizophrenia, the individual sufferer. No. These are all socially derived. This is from a society that permits them, allows them, and encourages them.
Well, yeah, actively likes them.
Hell yeah.
It feeds the society.
Absolutely. It feeds the society. It is the basis on which the society can continue to move forward. And unfortunately, what we're watching it do right now is move forward to a cliff that you can't walk back from a cliff. Once you go over that edge, you're done. We're done here. And that's what it's driving towards. What form that takes, how that looks afterwards, I don't know. I can make assumptions. Broad strokes, maybe. But it's different. And with that, my dear friends, y'all have a good night. Be safe.
Yeah. Night, America.
We'll cook up something good for next week to follow this piece, I promise.
My new favorite question is going to be to ask people, what's your sin?
What's your sin? Why don't you take a look in that mirror and find out what your sin is? Take a look.
I'm sticking with my gluttony. I think I got mine right on one.